Welcome, everyone. So today, for this webinar, what I've prepared is a simple agenda, right? Because what we have seen is most customers are not really sure how do we start with this AI journey, and is it even the right step, or what features they need to really adopt into. And it depends on a lot of factors, but I will try and cover most of this here. So if you look at SAP's AI landscape specific to SuccessFactor, you can really divide it into four categories, right? And those are the four categories we'll look at today. One is called base AI, which is an AI features that you get out of the box from the SuccessFactor product. Things like recommendations, or things like any sort of succession specific or career specific recommendation or learning specific recommendation that is happening. Mostly this base AI technology is powered by machine learning. There is very few actual generative AI use cases here, right? And then comes premium AI, which is SAP's paid offering. Here you will start getting features like use case of generative AI, use case of large language models getting incorporated into SuccessFactor, right? SAP has also launched Joule, which is your companion application, which allows you to find information quickly, do certain things quickly. This is a product in the making. I think it's in the right direction. We'll look at what it offers today. And of course, document grounding feature. This is again part of Joule, which allows you to, help employees find relevant information and documents quickly within your company, right? So before we jump into anything else, let's talk about what is an AI unit. And the reason why we are talking about it, because if you want to really differentiate between base AI versus premium AI, right? As I said, base AI is part of the suite. It's literally means that if you have SuccessFactor license, you are already subscribed to base AI. Now, if you want to subscribe to premium AI, you need to typically contact your customer account executive from SAP and tell them this is your needs are, and this is how you plan to utilize premium AI features. And they will point you to something called as AI units. Question they ask, how many AI units do you want? And it's typically sold in the chunk of hundreds, right? And it depends on your specific use case on how many you need to subscribe to. Some of my customers, what they have done is they subscribe to something very minimal, right? And this is more to try out the feature itself, where expectation from the organization is that we try out base premium features along with premium features in a closed group and see if it makes sense for our organization to roll it out to wider audience. And then the second set of purchases, right, which is a little bit bigger size of SAP AI units. So remember that a prerequisite to utilize SAP's AI features or premium AI features is going to be your purchase or your licensing of SAP AI units. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat, or if you want, you can also unmute yourself and talk about it. And we'll facilitate that as well. So if you look at premium AI features, you have generative AI use cases, which goes on from enhancing certain descriptions, creation of goals, getting some insights, assisting writing from managers and employees. And of course, there are some deep learning AI use cases where it can be also used for applicant screening, and using Talent Intelligence Hub, it can be used to generate and create certain components of Job Profile Builder and Talent Intelligence Hub, right? And of course, document grounding is also an AI feature, right? So SAP AI unit is a virtual currency in a way, right? It's like any other currency that you can think of. It has a base value, and then when you use AI features, the deductions happens from the purchase SAP AI units, right? And the way SAP AI unit works today is that it has a range of consumption. So, for example, if I create 100 goals in the system using AI features, how much consumption of SAP AI units I'm going to see. What SAP does, it provides a range. So it says, if you're creating one goal up to 100 or maybe 300 goals, you're going to consume one AI unit, right? And how many you need, it depends. There is a very good tool called SAP AI, AI unit estimator tool that's available, where you can go in and create your specific situation, and it will tell you how many units you will need to buy and what it will cost you. So again, very useful tool. Okay, let's talk about embedded premium AI features. Now, when we say premium AI features, we really talk about in terms of the employee lifecycle. So, for example, if I'm looking at initial stages of an employee's journey, which typically it starts from employee being a candidate, right? So these premium AI features can support applicant screening in form of extracting skills from their profiles and doing a matching on those. They can also support creation of assignments, creation of interview questions, enhancing the job description for the recruiters, and of course, enhancing job skills on your career website. And it can also help in skill inference based on employees provided or candidate provided data. We'll look at these features one by one. I'm not planning to cover all of them, but definitely we'll cover a few to give you a glimpse of what it does. When it comes to training and development, you have features like AI-assisted writing. We have seen this problem in various organizations where generation of a goal is very inconsistent across the organization. And this really helps to personalize it, but it definitely also helps to improve the quality of those goals created, whether it's a performance-related goal or it's a development-related goal. You can find career insights for a particular job that you're trying to look forward to do in future. If you are using 360-degree report, then it can also do insights for that 360-degree reports. It also supports Microsoft Teams chat. So if you have activated SAP application in your Teams and have integrated it, the feature is called integration of SAP SuccessFactors with Teams, right? You will be able to chat to the SuccessFactors system via your Teams and get some responses, right? Of course, it's also used to do skill inference based on data in continuous performance management. Continuous performance management is a place where you create tasks related to your goals and update and interact with your manager on a day-to-day basis within this tool. Based on that interaction and the content of the interaction system, infers what skills you may have, and then that gets presented back to the employee to accept or not accept the recommendation, right? Similarly, in performance, you also have very similar features along with ability to do translation. SAP is heavily working on this translation feature where they're trying to roll it out to masses, where you could translate pretty much everything in the SuccessFactors system, right from objects to employee written text. We'll see an example of it today. You could also do comp and benefit, where right now you can do analysis on anybody's personal insights, how they have been faring against market versus how they have progressed in their career in terms of their comp salary changes. And of course, from an administration and compliance perspective, you have Joule, which helps across these phases within the employee life cycle, which allows you to get some information quickly, find certain things quickly, right? So really, really powerful feature that SAP has launched. And this list has been increasing every release, right? So I'm pretty sure this list will update next release with a lot more options for you to see, right? Why would a customer adopt into something like this, right? And I'm just giving one particular use case example. There are various methods with which we can, justify or provide an ROI on investment of AI within a company. One simple thing is time saving. So because you are able to find information quickly, you are able to do certain things a lot quicker. And this is a very simple example of you trying to generate an interview question for a particular job requisition in recruiting, right? Typically, exercise like this will take a lot of time, right? And if somebody has to write it, they will easily spend about anywhere between 10 minutes to 30 minutes to do this exercise. However, if you make use of the inbuilt features, that exercise becomes a minutes exercise. And that time saving over a period of time, over multiple employees, gets added up, which again, sort of pays back for itself, right? In terms of employee productivity increase, because they're free to do more things now. Again, it's a very simple example. There are various other ways to look at it. It's also, you can also look at it in terms of enhancing employees' life itself, because you are giving certain information in their hand. You can also look at in terms of reducing the workload on HR function, because on a day-to-day basis, HR is answering a lot of queries and questions from people, right? Certain information is not readily in their hands, so they end up raising a ticket where HR team sort of comes in and helps them out with the information, and those things takes time, right? And eventually, because employees can do it themselves, it's a matter of telling them how to utilize these new features, and after that they are on their own and they can do that. That means the queries that goes to HR team or your ticketing portal reduces significantly. So again, various ways to justify. So I'm just presenting one example to you here, but nonetheless, having AI in your SuccessFactors suite definitely gives you an edge, because the whole world is moving towards AI. And everybody's trying to adopt into different use cases that are personal and important to them and for their organization. We'll quickly look at how can you activate premium AI features. And the process is really straightforward. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I'll try and show you in the system how does it play out if you are managing the system. So of course, first thing first, you contact your SAP customer executive manager, and you basically tell them that you want to buy AI unit licenses. That's the SKU number that you need to buy into. Okay. Once you have done that, SAP sort of activates that feature for your company. Note that only SAP can activate AI features in your system right now. Partners cannot help with it because SAP is controlling it that way. But step 3 onwards, you can always engage with the partner, or you can even do it yourself. It's not really complicated. You basically do work in role-based permissions to activate those features, right? Sort of giving you access to something called as AI services administration. Then you decide on enabling those features. And this is where you will need some help and guidance from any partner that you currently work with, where you would need to understand what each feature does and how it works and what kind of benefit it can add for your organization. Some features are module specific. So for example, there's a feature called interview generation that we talked about. It's only available if you have recruiting implemented in your system. And what if you don't have recruiting? You really don't need that feature. You really need to pay for it. And of course, towards the end, you will add the access of using AI features to your end user, right? What does that mean for you? It means that you can control who gets access to AI features in the company versus who doesn't, right? And this is very useful in the initial phases of you adopting into AI, because You can run it like a pilot. You can give access to, let's say, 100 people, 50 people within the organization, gather their feedback, tweak it a little bit, and then roll it out to masses. It really helps there because this control is available to us. Let me jump to my system and let me reshare my screen with my browser. I hope you can see this screen. So first step first, right? What we do is once the SAP activates AI features for you, you need to identify who are the people who are going to be administrating this AI in the system. And let's say I have an admin role, right? Within this admin role, I will try to edit this role. And when I'm doing that, I'm looking for something called, let's say if you scroll way down, right, you'll have something called as manage AI capabilities. Within this, you will activate this permission, AI services administration. That means anybody having this permission can now activate or deactivate AI features for you, right? Okay, so once I've given that, the system allows you to get access to this screen, and this you can search right on top, AI services, and the option will start appearing for you. In here, you will see the list of features that are currently available in SuccessFactors. Some are global features because they allow this setting applicable across the system. For example, assisted writing, translations, text analyzer, person insights, and of course, translations in bulk and extended AI local translations. Right? This is a fairly new feature, literally arrived like a week or 2 weeks ago, but nonetheless, it's available for you. Then you have some learning specific features, which allows you to do skill inference for learning. It allows you to do image generation. If you're trying to create any course, right, you can generate an image for it as well within learning. Then in talent modules, you have, of course, assisted generation of performance and development goal, assistant opportunity marketplace assignment. And this will become more and more prevalent now, people who do talent, because if you note that SAP has launched something called as career and talent development. It's a new licensing model which automatically bundles opportunity marketplace as a tool for all customers. Right? Then you can do, of course, 360-degree insights. You can do career insights for a role that you're targeting. Of course, performance and successor insights is also available to you to utilize. Right? Again, it will depend which feature you really want to adopt into, right? But these are the options that are available to you. I just want to explain all the options to you one by one. Talent Intelligence Hub. Of course, this is a no-brainer now. Most customers who were on Job Profile Builder are now slowly upgrading to Talent Intelligence Hub. Here, it helps with skill recommendations based on data and continuous performance management, based on data and opportunity marketplace. You can use it for architecture creation and skill standardization, which is nothing but renaming certain skills based on taxonomy model that SAP supports in order to rename certain skills so that they don't have names which are, not used widely across different sectors. Then, of course, in recruiting, we have an assisted job descriptions, interview questions, applicant screening, and of course, assisted job skills for career site builder and interview feedback insights. You can gain all that information in recruitment. Then work tech, which is nothing but integration with Microsoft Teams chat app, you can activate this setting right here. And if you want to, keep an eye on how these AI features are being consumed, you can always click on this. It will take you to your SAP's portal, and I'll just log in and show you in a moment what that looks like. So if I log in, you will get access to something called as a business AI page, which allows you to look at how has your consumption been in utilizing those AI features and how many AI units you currently hold versus how many AI units you have consumed already. So if you see here, my quota is I have about 174 AI units. If you see in June, of course, this is one of our test systems, so not a lot of people use it for real work. But you can go month by month and look at how many AI units have been consumed. So if you see there have been 57 requests in April, which consumed 6 AI units for us, and you can go and drill down into detailing of what types of features were used, how many time it was used, right? And what that consumption looks like, right? So as I said, it's a range. So I go from 2 to 100. AI unit consumption still be 1, but even if you use the minimum threshold, the units are, deducted from your account. That's that. Now, once I have done that, let's say I've taken a decision on activating the AI features in the system. The next step is to roll out these features to my end users. And how do I do that, right? So it depends on employee, manager, but typically you will go to employee to self, because the employees are typically going to use the feature for themselves. Certain features managers can also use. And in here, what are you looking for? Under user details, you will find AI access. And all the features that you have activated are listed here as well. And you can simply give access one by one. However, if you notice, one particular access, which is person insights, is controlled via target population. So if you want to give access to managers to gain person insights about the employee, that feature needs to be assigned to the manager role, not to the employee role. Right? Again, different ways to do this. If you take a phased approach, that's fine too. If you take a big bang approach, that's fine too, right? It depends on where you are on this AI adoption journey and how you want to utilize it. At this point, let me check if there is any questions chat. I'm not seeing any so far. Okay. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat, and I'll be able to pick it live. Perfect. So that basically sums up how you activate AI features. Right. Let's look at some of the AI features that SuccessFactors provides. And let's start with something really basic, right? Let me go in as a recruiter first. That's a good place to start. As a recruiter, right, you have access to create or post job requisitions, manage candidates, and so on. So I'll just go to recruiting tab, and within recruiting, I can see that, I have a particular job requisition available to me. Let me click on view and edit requisition. And when I do that, I see that I have a definition of the role listed here. Fine. But at the same time, I also have an option here for enhanced job description. And if I click on it, system will start to enhance the existing, it will read existing job description, understand the context of this particular job requisition, and it will start processing your request. And it will give you an outcome of a job description, which is a little bit enhanced based on the help from generative AI engine. Okay. Just take a few seconds to do it. Once the enhanced job description is enhanced, you are then able to sort of push it back to the field, and then you can utilize that particular job description output, and you can use it to post externally or internally, right? You can even start literally from a blank area, even if you don't have a job description. As long as the job requisition is filled, system will be able to generate you a result. Okay. But it's good to have job profile builder implemented and job profiles implemented, because it will give you a base context of what the profile should be, and then AI can work its engine on top of that to produce good results for you. Right? Not sure why it's taking too much time today, but usually it's very quick. But anyways, you get the idea, right? You can then post it back here, and that will basically form the basis of your job descriptions. Right? Similarly, right, you can always generate interview questions here. If the candidates are available, you can also click on manage skills, and system will basically start to read the data and starts recommending skills to you. So these are skills that are already available. I can click on suggest skills, and system will also generate skills and starts recommending, and I can add those skills into the job requisition and save it. And that will form the basis of matching once a candidate applies to this particular job. Let me go back as an employee again. And let's look at some of the global features that are available. Right? For example, if I go to goals, right, and if I try to generate a goal, which is a typical activity employee does after hiring, right, I can hit on create goal, and system will give me many options. One of the options is generating using AI, and I can say improve, and this is a very common example. Let me say improve sales target by 20%, right? So if I do something like that and hit generate, system will analyze my request. It will generate a goal for me. So that's my goal. That's the description, which is automatically filled. Then, of course, that's the measurement of success. And of course, it fills it up before, right? And you can save it. If you don't like it, you can always regenerate it right from here. But what you can also do is utilize the universal tools for writing. So if you see here, I'll click on use AI capabilities. I can enhance this. I can change the tone of it. I can make it shorter, longer, make it bullet points. So let's make it bullet points, right? So if I do that, system will suggest me, okay, that's the right text to converting this into bullet points. Fine. I can always click here, play with the same option. I can say, you know what? I don't want this in English. What if I want to generate in, let's say, Spanish? Click on translate, and system will basically generate the Spanish version of the same text, and click on apply, and then it gets updated. Again, not the real example, real use case, but there will be employees who would want to write things in their own language, or some employees want to write in English, but then translate to another language, depending on who you are and how many countries you belong to. If you have managers and direct reportees into multiple countries, right, then those situations become now really, really easy to manage. Again, up to you how you want to utilize these activities, and you can play around with these tools. So for example, if I take this one and say, you know what, make it more constructive, right? It will basically change the tone of the language, right? The achievement of sales target will evaluate by comparing the total sales conclusion. So just generative AI typical use cases, and I can, if you accept saving the goal will get saved for you right here. Similar activity can also be done for development goals, right? So I can hit create development goal. Let's say, let me write something as simple as I want to learn project management, for example, right? And I hit generate, and system will basically analyze my request. It understands a few things about employees, and it will tell you, okay, that's description, and that's how you need to go about creating that particular goal. So that's a few of the AI use cases that you have seen. I can also see something like this in growth portfolio. If I look at a particular role, and if I go to role details, right, in here, you can find information about the goal, right? Let me go in as one of the managers in the system and show you how does that work for a manager. So if I go to, let's say, Sarah David, who is the manager in this system, And in here, if I again go back to growth portfolio, which is again available to you when you activate Talent Intelligence Hub, right? And if I look at this role, let's say HR professional in here, and you can see that this particular goal, this particular role has skills that I want to improve, skills that I have. Based on that, recommendation are made to me. But I want to understand more about this, right, by using career insights, right? So if I click on generate here, right, it will start generating career insights for me. And I can see what kind of usage I can get out of it. It basically revolves around how you can help employee develop a particular skill and what kind of goals they will have to create to make use of features like this. Any questions so far? No questions. Let me go back to my deck quickly. I hope you can see my deck, right? So that's about premium AI features. We'll talk about, if you have any question about any features specifically, please do post it in the chat. We'll be able to pick it up. Let's talk about Joule. So many times employees want to figure out certain information, right? Information could be related to doing some small actions. It could be related to finding certain information, or it could be that employee needs certain kind of help, right? Information could be related to the system, could be related to the process, could also be related to any of the policies that HR may have. And that's where this tool becomes really, really useful for Joules. Joules comes with about 11 languages right now as support, and you can interact with Joules using these 11 languages. It also supports most of the data centers, but not all. So if you're planning to get on to Joules, you need to definitely check if you have prerequisites of Joules done correctly or not. So of course, you need to have SuccessFactors, but you also need to have SAP IaaS implemented, along with licensing of Joules available to you, with premium AI license available to you. And once you do that, Joule activation is a very technical thing, and that's why I'm not covering it in this meeting. But just to give you context, right? Joule is activated from the backend. So we'll need some help either from SAP or from your partner to get this activated. It does require you to run something called as a booster in SAP's business technology platform. It uses the APIs in the background. It uses certain concepts like work zone, data sync, right? And using those, you can activate Joules. And these are the high-level steps on how you would activate Joules for yourself, right? As far as I know, there is only one customer of mine who have attempted to do this themselves, and they haven't been successful so far. So they have to come in and help. But again, up to you, right? You can give it a try, but I would definitely recommend engaging a partner to do that. Let's look at what Joules can do in the system, right? So let me share my browser again. I hope you can share, you can see my screen. Now, once Joule is activated for an end user, right, you will be able to see this additional icon getting popped up in the SuccessFactors system, right? And this is where employees will access Joules, right? When you click on it, you will be able to see Joules coming up. And let me start fresh. Let me just get rid of this previous chart that I was showing. Okay, and once the Joule becomes active, you will see something like this within the system, saying, how can I help you? Talk to me naturally. So probably I would say, and I'll start with something really simple. View email address for, let's say, Dipesh, right? So I know the name of the employee that I'm looking for. And this is, again, respecting your permissions, right? So if I, as an employee, do not have access to looking at people's email addresses, I won't be able to fetch this query. The system will give me that you are not allowed to see this information. So it's not that you activate Joule and everything becomes accessible to everyone. Right? I'll say something like this as an additional query. What's my leave balance? So let's try that. Something really, really simple. If you can see now, I can see that I have different leave types. For holidays, I have 11.5, 6 days is 44, comp op is 1 day, and of course, birthday holiday is 1 day, right? You can also use this to help you navigate to my goal plan. So if you do something like this, system will be able to help you out with the navigations as well. Not sure what's wrong here. But yeah, you can do that. You can also request things like feedback from someone. So request feedback from, let's say, Dipesh again, right? And then system will, if you have continuous performance, it will allow you to request feedback from people within this particular space, right? Again, very useful features. Now, there is a list of allowed things that you can ask Joule to do right now, which is available on help.sap.com. You should definitely check it out. Not every use cases is supported here, but most common use cases that you can think of are supported here. So let me try something as simple as I need team members of, let's say, Dipesh, for example. So if I do that, I need team members of Dipesh. System should be able to identify what those team members are, and basically it will show you that information that these are peers of Dipesh and his team member. And you can click on view more and see information about those people as well. Right? You could perform simple transactions as well. If you have a workflow pending, you could simply go in and approve those workflows right from you as well. So really simple use case. If you want to understand, there is different version of Joule as well. This is a customer version, but there is something called as Joule for Consultant as well, which sorts of comes with a little bit more capabilities around answering certain questions and certain questions around configurations as well. If I type, for example, request feedback, then it's giving me error, but ideally it should work. Anyway. Perfect. That said, let me share my presentation once again. Right. So let's talk about document grounding. I hope you can see my presentation. So one of the major challenges that has been in an organization is to provide visibility of certain policies and documents to their end users. And we have various ways to store them, various ways to make it available to the end users. But people end up spending a lot of time finding HR policies and figuring out which policy really applies to them. What Joule support is a feature called document grounding, where you can actually integrate tools with the SharePoint site. And this is Microsoft SharePoint site. And you can upload all the documents on the SharePoint site. And then Joule uses data within those documents to train and retrain itself, so it can start answering questions based on the information available in the documents, right? Which is quite powerful because now I can ask it questions related to anything within the organization as long as there is a document available for it, right? Things to know. In Joule's grounding feature, you will have to know about certain limitations. First limitation is that it can only support up to 2,000 documents. To be honest, in my experience, 2,000 documents have been plenty. I have not seen any customer going so far beyond about 100, 150 documents when it comes to training document grounding feature. But the limit is 2,000. The document types that are supported is HTML, any pictures, Microsoft Word documents, any PDFs, and these are 2 more picture types. Documents content, it does support reading from the plain text. So far, images embedded within the document and tables within it embedded within a document are not yet supported, so they can't be used to train the model to answer your queries. Of course, English and other 11 languages, as I said, are also supported. Content refresh from SharePoint takes about a day. So when you go live, at that time, the refresh happens immediately. But going forward, the refresh takes place once every day. So if you upload a document today, tomorrow onwards, it will start becoming available in the Joule's document grounding feature, right? And in Microsoft SharePoint, you can select either one folder to be a source of the document. You can select entire site also to be a source of the document, depending on how you configure it. It does respect permissions from SharePoint, but only for document viewing. Right? People will still be able to find the content in here using the search. This is a small diagram to introduce you very simply to the architecture side of it. And without getting into technicalities, what's happening here is that you are hosting documents in your SharePoint site. And from this SharePoint sites, we create something called as data pipelines. And these data pipelines is nothing but a location of a site or a folder where the data needs to be fetched from. Once that's there, this data is read and used to retrain the large language model that is sitting in the background of this particular tool, using various technologies like retrieval augment generation or vector APIs, and it becomes available to the end user via SuccessFactors and Joule's portal. Right? So let me jump back to the system quickly. Let me reshare my screen, and I'll be sharing the Joules again. Right? In here, if I ask a question, right, and let me ask something really basic, right? What's organization's BYOD policy, for example? If that's the question I'm asking, I want to understand if bringing your own device is even allowed in the organization or not. So here I get an answer. To bring your own device, policies allows employee to use their personal devices, such as phone, tablet, blah, blah. This approach enhancements, and I'm basically trying to figure out what's the source of this document. So if I see, okay, this is the document that is coming from, that means we do have a bring your own device policy. And if you click on it and provided, of course, SharePoint access is available to you, you will gain access to that document, right? And you can basically read the content that was just recommended to you is from this particular document. Right? Similarly, right, you can ask questions around what security my laptop should have based on organization, right? I'm just making up these questions as we go along. But if it finds an answer, it will give you. If it doesn't find an answer, it won't give you, right? So if you see, this is the policy that is recommended, right? And the source of this particular things is listed in various documents, and these are those documents that are listed. So it basically solves a very simple problem of, helping employees find policy-related questions, organization-related questions quickly, as long as organization is willing to share it via SharePoint site to the end users. And this becomes a place where they can simply ask a natural question, and system will be able to understand the context of it, and it will try and find between the documents where this information is available. And once it finds it, will present you with the information as a summary, but will also present the source from which this information is referenced, and employees can directly click here and open the document and read it if they need to go wider and do the deep study of the document. Any questions so far? Perfect. Well, that's all I wanted to cover today. If anybody has any questions, you can unmute yourself. I'm happy to answer those questions right now. We still got another 10 minutes left in the meeting.
So, Pankaj, how does this SAP Business AI ensure data privacy and compliance, especially for generative AI features?
So, if you look at SAP's landscape in general, right, what SAP provides is adherence to strict data privacy standards. Now, this comes with aligning SAP's data strategy to regional regulations like GDPR, CCPA. When the data is fetched and used in SAP's generative AI models, right, the data is used in an anonymized way, and it is hosted in SAP's secure cloud infrastructure, where customer data is never used publicly. It is never used to train an AI model, right, outside of the context of the company, right? And of course, administrators do have some controls on AI features access, who can see and who cannot. That basically limits it. And because of that, the compliance and privacy is really high in the context of SuccessFactors using AI. And that's one of the primary reasons why SAP is taking so much time to launch these AI features in the system, because they follow something called as ethical AI practices, which covers all these pieces. And if anyone is interested to know about it, just Google SAP ethical business AI model, and you will understand more about it, how they're going about it.
Thanks, Pankaj. Just a note for everyone, if you have any more questions, please feel free to drop it in the Q&A chat. If you would like to talk, I have gone ahead and unmuted all of you. I've asked to unmute yourself and talk. You can also choose that option, come off mic, come off mute, and then you can ask directly. In the meantime, Pankaj, would you like to explain our attendees, what kind of ROI can we expect from implementing, premium AI features like predictive analytics or AI resume parsing, etc.?
So when you look at it, right, and that's a very common question we get all the time from customers, like, okay, AI is going big, okay, in various industry it has use case. What use cases is there in HR? And how can we showcase or even justify the ROI on it, right? And this goes back to how you basically use your premium AI and in what context. So if you talk about recruiting, right, it is leading to certain decision making, right, which improves overall organization. It is a measurable gain as well, right? So you can probably see because you have AI now accessible to you, you are able to do skill-based hiring within the organization, which automatically improves the experience of the candidate as well as makes jobs easier for the recruiter, which increases the frequency or the time to hire that it takes. And it's a measurable content. You can easily see what used to be the time to hire before AI, what's time to hire after AI. So it's a measurable and provable concept. Typically, reduction is about 20 to 30% time. It also helps in various parts of the employee life cycle. So, for example, if you look at offering development opportunities to employees or improving your succession plan accuracies, right? It helps to reduce attrition within the organization because now you are able to offer more personalized training plans to your employees rather than something that used to be enforced by the organization in the pre-AI era. Right? It's very difficult to crunch those data points and understand what exactly people need. It was always at a broader context. Now, with the help of AI, we can personalize that context to one particular employee, and that really helps. And that also leads to cost savings. So we see about time to hire by reduction by 20 to 30%, and also it helps with improving candidate fit. Right, so people who is joining to your organization, they are more suitable to do that job because you are using different parameters to judge them and make use of AI to understand more about them. Yeah? But yeah, I mean, I could go on and on for various use cases, yes, but that's that. Any more questions?
I think that would be all. So I think it's good time to wrap it up. Pankaj, if you have anything else to add.
No, I mean, this is really good thing that SAP is doing, everyone, right? And please analyze it to the context of your organization, right? And see if you can adopt into it. Even if you want to do a trial, if you have a partner, fine. If you don't, please contact talent team and we can help to gauge your needs and recommend you the solution accordingly. But really, it's really straightforward, simple thing to activate. Adoption of it is also quite quick. That's what we have seen within organization. Once these features are launched, people are using it really, really heavily. And the list of the features with AI will continue to grow within SuccessFactors in upcoming releases in years to come. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently, and have a nice day, everyone.